Alright, you are watching Political Point Magazine. Where the right is right and the left, well, the left is always on the wrong side of history. Why? Because political minds want to know. So enjoy a conservative point of view. And let's talk pea soup. With tonight's top stories. Well, it is so shocking now that Obama is blocking progress. Alright. And he vetoed the Keystone XL pipeline bill. Well, but which was a bipartisan bill, and we are going to encourage the Congress to have a bipartisan override with that. And the CPAC conference revs up the GOP 2016 candidates in this, okay? And we will show exclusive clips on that and talk about the message of the GOP. And the administration is sending mixed signals on our national security. Yeah, that is quite shocking here. Alright, and Netanyahu is here. Yes, he makes his address to Congress tomorrow morning at 11, so be sure to tune in Tuesday morning. And we will talk about all this and more with you, the viewers, as we take it to the phones and everything. And I am your political host. Whoops, sorry about that. Right here, William Mitro. Oh, that mic is a little high there. Okay, so. Okay. Well, it was only a matter of time. Well, we have the Republican Congress now. They're actually doing their job. That's right. Okay, so they're actually doing their job out there, and while they're doing their job, they have passed bills. They've actually gotten stuff to the president's desk, mind you. Okay, so now what we have the Keystone XL pipeline that the Congress, both houses of Congress, it was bipartisan that passed, and they got it to the president's desk, right? But now the president has been stalling on this project for a while now. Okay. And it comes to as no surprise here that the president is playing politics with this. Okay, he has stalled the bill. He has stalled. He has stalled the project for over 6 years, my friends. 6 years. All right, and he takes this opportunity now. Okay, once the Republicans show that they can get stuff done and they can function the way they're supposed to function, the president vetoes the bill. All right, now, and this is where the president is wrong. Okay, now he vetoed the bill, right? Okay, he vetoed the bill, right? The Keystone XL pipeline bill. Okay, the president vetoes the bill. All right, but and this is what he cited for the reasons. Okay, because this act of Congress conflicts with establish executive branch procedures, and cuts short thorough consideration of issues. What in the world is the president talking about? Now, this just goes to show you that the president is so out of touch. He's too in line with his liberal socialist agenda that he's intact with the so-called environmentalists, right? And he claims this project will have no clean progress on the environment. So this all goes along with his narrative that we need to combat global warming. All right. Now, it wasn't long ago, okay? It wasn't long ago, my friends, that I made the case that the Obama administration is so out of touch with reality here. Okay. Now, he is so out of touch on this. All right? That he has been putting forth the narrative. Okay. That he has been putting forth the narrative that that the global warming and climate change is the biggest threat to our national security. But we have debunked this, okay? We have debunked this. So now I am encouraging, okay? Now I am encouraging the Congress out there to get together the bipartisan votes that you did with the Keystone Pipeline bill, okay, and put together a bipartisan override, okay. I have called members of Congress on this, and more specifically, John Boehner and leader and Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and then other members of Congress too. Okay. But okay, but this is just ridiculous. He goes out and vetoes the Keystone Pipeline, which means he's vetoed jobs, literally thousands of jobs, okay, and he's so vexed on his global warming narrative that it's just ridiculous. Okay, we did climate change is just ridiculous. Okay, it's just the weather. We have debunked global warming. Okay, in fact, global warming is the biggest hoax on the planet. All right, and let me show you. Okay, because remember, okay, now remember the founder of the we showed it here first. Okay, but the founder of the Weather Channel, okay, debunked global warming. Okay, and this is some of what he said when he was on the Kelly File. All right. So take a look at this.
Over it again, day after day for 20.
All right. So now here it is. All right. Now remember, we debunked all of this. Okay. Take a look.
The media has told the nation over and over again, day after day for 20 years, that the oceans are rising, the polar bears are dying, the ice is melting, that storms are going to sweep the earth, and that we're all going to die of a heat wave. The Antarctic ice cap is at an all-time record high in both coverage and thickness. The Arctic ice cap at the North Pole is at the highest it has been in several years. Not only is the ice not melting, more polar bears are alive and happy today than we've had in 100 years. Life is good.
Yep. And now, and you know, we have debunked this over and over and over again. That was the founder of the Weather Channel. Okay, he knows more about this than anybody. Okay, because he sees the graphs and the weather patterns and stuff like that. You know, and recently we had a senator throw a snowball in the Senate. Okay, saying that it's cold outside, and global warming does not exist. Okay, debunking the theory of global warming. Okay, now I have posted this up on Facebook, and I have tweeted this out several times on Twitter. Okay, but global warming is one big hoax. Okay, there's no evidence to back up these global warming alarmists. Okay, in fact, okay, it is so bogus, okay, that we even have like some of the graphs here. All right, now I bring this up because people need to understand this. All right, okay, I bring up ClimateGate. Okay, now remember this, back in November of 2009. Okay. 2009 here, ClimateGate happened. Okay, ClimateGate happened. All right, and this is what ClimateGate was. Okay, in November, a server in the University of East Anglia. Okay, this was on November 17th, 2009. All right. November 17th, 2009. All right. And, okay. So a server at the Climatic Research Unit at the University of East Anglia was breached, and 60 megabytes of data were obtained, and that included 1,000 emails and 3,000 other documents at the University of East Anglia. Okay, and the emails were circulated, and the contents revealed that global warming was a scientific conspiracy in which scientists manipulated the climate data and tried to suppress their critics with it. All right. Now, let me show you some of the emails, okay, in this little debacle here, okay? Let me show you some of the emails here. All right, this was coming from and ironically, this happened like a few weeks before the international summit on global climate change. All right. But this was the big scandal of 2009. All right, but let me show you some of the emails here. All right, because it's quite interesting what they said. Okay, now this comes from. Okay, now this is some of the emails. Okay, this first one comes from the International Panel on Global Climate Change. Okay, and they said thrown. Okay, let me get that here. Okay, yeah. So all right. So this first one here. All right, but up in there we go. Here it goes. Okay, thrown metro. Okay, so observations. Okay, observations. All right, let me read to you. Okay, observations do not show rising temperatures throughout the tropics, piso, throughout the tropical, yeah. Observations do not show rising temperatures throughout the troposphere unless you accept one single study and approach and discount a wealth of others. This is just downright dangerous. We need to communicate the uncertainty and be honest, Phil. Hopefully we can find time to discuss these further if necessary. Then Throne responds by saying, I also think the science is being manipulated to put a political spin on it, which for all our sakes might not be too clever in the long run. Okay, and then another email reads, seems that a few people have a very strong say, and no matter how much talking goes on beforehand, the big decisions are made at the 11th hour by a select core group. All right. Then the next one, all right, coming up here. All right. The next one, all right. It says, okay. The next one says, "Hey Mike, the figure you sent is very deceptive. There have been a number of dishonest presentations of model results by individual authors and by International Panel of Climate Change." Okay, overspeak. The trick may be to decide on the main message and use that to guide what's involved, what's included and what is not, and what is left out. Then the next one says, I agree with Susan Salman that we should try to put more in the bullet about subsequent evidence. Need to convince readers that there really has been to increase in knowledge, more evidence. What is it? See, and in all these emails, this was ClimateGate. Okay, the scientists manipulated the data as it relates to global warming, and they tried to use that to suppress their detractors. But global warming is a really big hoax. In fact, I posted this on Facebook, but I want to make a correction on that. But the warmest year on record is actually 1934, 1937, 1934, I think it was. Yeah, in the 1930s when they started. It's not 1998 when what the figure that all those global warming and alarmists are trying to mention. But anyhow, okay, that my friends is the real deal here, because that is ClimateGate, and ClimateGate proved that the scientists were just putting us on. Okay, they didn't have any evidence of that the temperature was rising and whatnot. Okay, but this veto, Okay, the president vetoes the Keystone Pipeline, and that, my friends, is just a bad move, just a really bad move. All right, so on this note, my friends, okay, now, and so the president is showing that he really doesn't want to work with the Republican Congress, okay, and with all this going on, all right, the president just shows his disconnect with the American people. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Okay, so, and on this note, my friends, okay, now we have now the CPAC conference, which came out, okay, and my friends, I am going to talk about this in depth, okay, but CPAC is, in fact, let me put this in my Political Point magazine's political point of vision. All right, so with CPAC, okay, that's the annual conservative conference where they bring about the conservative candidates for the next election, and that involved Ted Cruz, Scott Walker, and a variety of others. All right, but I want to talk about this because this, okay, my friends, is quite interesting. Okay, in fact, okay, now we're gonna get this rolling on here. All right, but let me show you some of the highlights of the CPAC conference. Okay, this is one of my favorite events of the year. All right, now, okay, but here we go. All right.
Unwilling to utter the words radical Islamic terrorism. You know, the State Department spokesperson just said recently, we can't win this by killing ISIS. We need to give them jobs. What utter and complete nonsense.
Putting our health care in our hands and not in the hands of some bureaucrat. And for balancing our budget. And for a fair taxation system that allows us to get rid of the IRS.
I care about fighting for the people that I represent. I care about fighting the fights that are worth fighting. And yeah, I'm going to be passionate about it.
But you know what? Those voices can't drown out the voices of the millions of Americans who want us to stand up for the hardworking taxpayers.
While Christians bow our heads to pray for you, radical Islamists want to cut off your head.
If a candidate tells you they oppose Obamacare, fantastic. When have you stood up and fought against it? If a candidate says they oppose President Obama's illegal and unconstitutional executive amnesty, terrific. When have you stood up and fought against it?
Mrs. Clinton, please name an accomplishment. And in the meantime, please accept and explain why we should accept that the millions and millions of dollars that have flowed into the Clinton Foundation from foreign governments do not represent a conflict of interest.
They're helpful, they're better than lower standards, but by themselves, if there's no accountability around this, if there's no consequence between mediocrity and failure or excellence, then the system won't move forward. In Florida, we took a comprehensive approach. Yes, we did have the first statewide voucher program, and we have more school choice in Florida, both public and private, than any state in the country. And we have the largest virtual school. We have the largest corporate tax scholarship program. We have 30,000 students that if their parents, that if their child has a learning disability, they get dollars, the state and local dollars. And
now, Sean Hannity was also there, and he interviewed some of the candidates there. So, and so I want to show you that too. All right, but here we go with some of the interviews there. All right, which is quite interesting. I love this. All right, so take a look at this. All right, so here it is. And CPAC 2015, that was Jeb Bush that you just saw. All right, and oh my gosh, we're losing the picture here. What the heck? All right, let me see. All right, but anyway, CPAC.
I'm running out of time. I've got to wrap in a minute. I've asked every other candidate that I've had an opportunity to interview real quickly.
Boxers.
That was not the question.
Oh, checking.
The top
Thank
five,
God it wasn't.
I'll leave that for NBC News. The top 5 agenda. If you become president, what are your top 5 priorities in the first 100 days?
Undoing, yeah, right. Undoing the, by executive order, undoing what the president has done, not, using authority he doesn't have. Creating a regulatory reform agenda that allows for investment to take place in our country. Presenting to Congress a plan to reform our tax code so that we can see inversions happen the other way, where companies invest in our country to create high-wage jobs. We need to get back to high sustained economic growth and then send the signal to the rest of the world that we're going to be their partner for peace and security.
All right, I'm going to do our lightning round, but before I do that, a lot has been written about Terry Schiavo. You used to have a license plate that said "Choose Life."
Yeah.
Any regrets over the Terry Schiavo fight?
No, we were the first state to have a Choose Life license plate that helped with crisis pregnancy centers around the country, around the state, and I'm pro-life. I also believe that the most vulnerable in our society need to be protected, and in this case, here was a woman who was vulnerable, and the court, because of our laws, didn't allow her. They were going to allow her to be starved to death. So we passed a law, Terry's law, that was a year later ruled unconstitutional. I stayed within the law, but I acted on my core belief that the most vulnerable in our society should be in the front of the line. They should receive our love and protection, and that's exactly what I did.
Where you stand today? Okay. There was an indication in an article today. Gay marriage. Are you changing your position at all?
No, I believe in traditional marriage.
Okay. There are numerous reports that you're telling people privately that you are a moderate, but then public. How do you I describe myself as a Reagan constitutional conservative. How would you describe yourself?
I would describe myself as a practicing, reform-minded conservative, that I've actually done it.
Marijuana in Colorado, legalization, good or bad idea?
I thought it was a bad idea, but states ought to have that right to do it. I would have voted no if I was in Colorado.
Okay. I'm going to mention a few names. We've gotten some very interesting answers on this question. Hillary Clinton?
Foreign fundraising.
Okay.
We're supposed to do a word association?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Okay. You did good.
How'd that work compared to the other ones? Okay, just check.
Bill Clinton?
Bubba.
All right, that's pretty funny. I do an impression. How you doing? I want to say hi to the cute chick in the back there. All right. The governor's not responsible.
Let me get a little bit over here.
Yeah, I know. Stay away from these radio and TV talk hosts. Barack Obama.
Failed president. Failed president.
You know, there's been such a big debate now about the issue of American exceptionalism.
Yeah.
In your view, do you, A, believe America's exceptional? And why do you love this country enough that you are going to go through the difficulty and the trials and tribulations of running for office? And that's our last question.
Well, I do believe in American exceptionalism. I got to be the chairman of the National Constitution Center for a couple of years. It's the center that honors our Constitution. It's a museum in Philadelphia. I urge everybody to go. And I fell in love with the Constitution again, being there in its presence. And this president has trampled over the Constitution. And put aside whether you like his beliefs or not, I imagine no one in this room does, the fact that he is disrespecting our history and the extraordinary nature of our country by doing what he's done is deeply disturbing to me. And so I think restoring a love of our country and its heritage and its tradition and expanding that love in a way that gives people confidence that they can rise up, that they can live the American dream, has to be one of the prime responsibilities of the next President of the United States.
All right, when we nearly 50 million Americans in poverty, nearly 50 million Americans on food stamps. Yeah. We have 92 million Americans not working out of the labor force, but the government tells us the unemployment level's great. We have $18.1 trillion in debt, $100 trillion in unfunded liabilities. How do we dig ourselves out of that hole?
Well, first we have to understand that the world has rapidly changed. We're basically having the Industrial Revolution every 5 years. That's how fast the world has changed, and our leaders are still stuck in yesterday. They think that if we just pour more money, more of your money, into the same programs that didn't even work that well in the past, we're going to get us out of this. There are three things we have to realize. Globalization is real. We are now in competition with dozens of other countries. And unless we cut our taxes, reduce our regulations, get rid of Obamacare, balance our budget, and fully utilize our energy portfolio, we can't compete. We do those things, we can compete with anyone in the world. The second thing is we need to help our people be stronger than ever. That begins with strong families, by empowering parents, by allowing parents to choose the school their kids go to, not have the government tell them where they're going to go to school. By the way, that also means not having a national school board that imposes a national curriculum on the whole country.
So I'll put you down as yes for Common Core.
Yeah. But beyond that, we need to understand that in the 21st century, some of the best jobs require more than high school, traditional high school, but less than 4 years of college. And that means we shouldn't be stigmatizing those vocational careers. We should be graduating more people from high school ready to work as plumbers, electricians, welders, machinists, BMW technicians, you name it. And by the way, the four-year degree is still important. Okay, I went to four-year degree. By the way, I owed over $100,000 in student loans, which I paid off with the proceeds of my book, now available on paperback, if you're interested. But we have too many people in America today graduating with a four-year degree that doesn't lead to jobs, and they owe tens of thousands of dollars. We should tell students, if you graduate with a major in Greek philosophy, you're going to struggle to find a job because the market for Greek philosophers is tight.
Let me ask you about immigration. You went forward with your immigration proposal, and at the end of the day, you said, it didn't work, I tried, it's not going to work.
Right.
And you kind of, last time I interviewed you on radio about it, you said, you regretted going forward, you learned from the process, you thought you made a mistake. Explain.
Well, it wasn't very popular. I don't know if you know that from some of the folks here, but here's the thing. It's a serious problem that has to be confronted. It does. And let me tell you why it's serious. Number one, we don't have the mechanisms in place to enforce some of our immigration laws. We don't have an E-Verify system. We don't track people. 40% of illegal immigrants come legally and overstay their visas. We don't know who they are. We have to put that in place. There are at least 3 sectors of the border, one in particular, that are just completely insecure. It needs more fencing, it needs more patrols, it needs more. That stuff has to get done. We also have a legal immigration system that's the most generous in the world. 1 million people a year come to this country legally. No other country even comes close to that. But it's all based on whether or not you have a family member here. And it can't continue to be based on family alone. It's got to be based on some sort of merit and economic contribution. That has to be dealt with as well. And okay, lightning round.
Abortion.
I'm pro-life. I mean, it's just as simple as that.
Gay marriage.
I believe marriage is between one man and one woman. That's what it's been for thousands of years, and it served our people well.
Colorado marijuana legalization.
I'm against the legalization of marijuana.
Should every law-abiding American, even in states that have restrictive gun laws like New York, should they have the right to carry a weapon?
Absolutely. The only people who don't care about gun laws are criminals.
I'm going to throw out a couple of names to you. Hillary Clinton.
Yesterday.
Bill Clinton.
What's the next one? Really yesterday.
Barack Obama.
Failed.
Last question. You talked about your love for America and how we all really, we receive so much more than we could ever pay back. Explain, if you believe in American exceptionalism, and why.
I don't know if people realize, but in every other society in human history, your future is decided by what your parents did before you. If your parents were rich, if your parents were famous, if they were politically connected, if they could pick up the phone and find you your first job, you were set. And if they couldn't, you were stuck, no matter how hard you worked, how much you tried. The fact that the son of a bartender and a maid that worked at a hotel is sitting on the stage with you today, that's why America's special.
Now, he did a lot more, okay? Now, and I want to show those interviews too. So let's get straight to them. I got a couple more on here, okay? But this is This is interesting. I love it. All right, so
50 million Americans on food stamps, 92 million Americans not working. We don't count them, but they're not working.
As I said, right. We don't count them. I mean, we have, they say 5.3 and 5.6%. I think it's over 20%. During the speech, I said 20%.
How do we get them? How would Donald Trump, as president, get these people back to work?
You have to take the jobs back from China. You have to take the jobs back from Mexico. Mexico, in Iowa, companies are leaving for Mexico. You have to take, they're given incentive to leave our country and go to places like Mexico. And by the way, Mexico is the next China. Mexico, folks, is not our friend. I hate to tell you this, but Mexico, and I'm not just talking about the border. Mexico is ripping off the United States big, big league, and we better do something. But jobs going to China, to Mexico, to Brazil, they're going everywhere but here. And we've lost our manufacturing, and we've lost our manufacturing base.
What would specifically you do to, A, stop Iran's nuclear program, and B, to defeat ISIS? Because I don't hear you saying degrade them. I hear you saying defeat them.
Defeat. Well, with ISIS, I just hit them really hard. And that would probably, and you know, a year ago you wouldn't have said it and nobody would have liked it. Now everybody likes it. You may have to have some boots on the ground for a period of time until you get rid of the cancer. That's number one. You may have to have that. Look,
you hear that, Obama? Hit them where it hurts. My goodness. You know, this president is so weak on terrorism, it's just not even funny. All right. Now, the next one I wanted to get into, all right, is okay. The next one I wanted to get into because he interviewed Governor Rick Perry too, all right. But you know, but he went around and you know it's just the best conference ever. You really get to see the candidates, all right. But here's him with Rick Perry.
Is where you've got to go first. Because you get the economics headed in the right direction. You lower the corporate tax rate because that does multiple things. Not only does it give a clear message and incentive to people to come invest in the United States or to bring back that manufacturing that's moved offshore, but it also raises the wages for the workers out there. I mean, that's the powerful message. It's not just about the corporate CEO or the stockholder. It's about that blue-collar worker out there that sees their jobs and the wages going up in those jobs. So
how do you balance the budget? Obama's basically accumulated as much debt as every other president before him.
I think it's time for us to stand up and say, you know what, we're going to cut the spending and do it. We did that in my home state. We had two major downturns economically in Texas. 2003, a $10 billion shortfall, a $27 billion shortfall in 2011. And we did it without raising taxes. And Americans want to see that kind of backbone, that kind of leadership to walk in and say, you know what, we're going to cut this spending and then do it.
I'm calling this.
Okay, yep. Now I want to get into something that is interesting here. Now, along with everything else, now I'm going to put up my screen again here. The Political Point magazine's Political Point Division. All right, because this is important here. It's very crucial here. Now, the administration is sending mixed signals on our national security. Okay, now we all know that the administration has been weak on national security, right? But the whole thing is that now with with everything going on here, all right, and there's a lot of stuff going on, all right. But we just heard that that James Clapper, okay, the director of the CIA, all right, the director of the CIA now has come out and said that we are less safe now than we were before in our time, okay. But and then there's oh, you're gonna love this, all right. But with everything going on today and everything, but I wanna actually get into something else, okay? Because on the CPAC, Okay. Now they took the straw poll. Okay. And guess what? You know, I showed the clips of Scott Walker and stuff, but I was unable to show Rand Paul. But okay, but on this, okay. Now on this, I want to show you this. Okay, right here. Okay, the 2015 straw pack. Okay, okay, this right here. Okay, and the straw poll. Look who's in the lead. Okay, for the third time in a row. Okay, the third time in a row. CPAC poll. Okay, CPAC. Okay, and right there, third time in a row. All right, that we have Rand Paul wins the straw poll, but look who's in a close second there. All right, Scott Walker. Now remember, we have always said that Scott Walker. We said it before. Scott Walker, 3-time champion in the state of Wisconsin. Okay, he won election, and then he beat the recall election, and then he won, and then he gets reelected again. But okay, this straw poll has him at a close second, meaning that that the people have chosen who they want to be president and maybe vice president. Okay, I'm looking at Scott Walker just because he's coming at a close second there. Okay, now my guy was Rand Paul. Okay, and it still is, but I'm looking at Scott Walker, and just in that showing there, okay, he beats out the other candidates, and he rises up, and in national polls, he's ahead of even Rand Paul. Okay, so I'm looking at this very, very seriously now. Okay, and now before I get to the callers though, okay, I wanna bring up, okay, Bibi Netanyahu, okay, is in America now. In fact, he spoke. Okay, he spoke recently at APAC, which is really friendly to Israel, and you know that Americans now, Bibi Netanyahu is now in America, and he addresses the Congress tomorrow. Okay, so Bibi is now in America now, and I just wanted to mention that. But now, my friends, okay, as we get into stuff, okay, and I want to get into a lot of other things, but we have this picture right here. Netanyahu is in America, and he speaks tomorrow, so y'all better tune in. Okay, tune into the news tomorrow. All right, he's here in America. All right. So, and on that note, I am taking your calls. Okay, so 272-0319. Okay, I know you all are listening. Okay, and it is quite interesting the way things are working out. All right, so 272-0319. Okay, now I want to get into a lot of other things. Okay, now that did pop up, like the justice has been served for the killer of the American sniper Chris Kyle. Okay, the jury came out and found that he is the jury ruled in favor of life in prison without parole. Okay, without parole. That's right. Okay, so so with that, justice is served, and encourage everybody to go out there and see the movie. Excuse me. All right, see the movie, American Sniper. All right, now that is quite amazing. All right, but my friends, yes, 272-0319. I know you're paying attention. Okay. 272-0319. All right. Come on, I know you're listening out there. All right. We can take this step by step. Okay. Now, who's your favorite presidential candidate at this point in time here? Okay. But we now. Oh, and other things have come up too, like the government now, the FCC ruled that the government is the federal government is taking over the internet. All right, that's net neutrality for you. All right, yeah, and it's not good. It's not a good deal, my friends. Okay, that means that the government, the federal government, would be in charge of your internet, including content of what you put on the internet. That's not good, my friends. It's so bad that even Verizon had to send out a message in Morse code. Right? Yeah. So this is a power grab here. Okay. So now the government is going to control our health care. They're going to control they're going to control our internet, which is absolutely lousy. All right, so we would advise against this. Really, my friends, advise against this. Okay, because it's not giving us our freedom. All right, and it should be more free marketed. All right, so with everything coming up and things yet to come, I think that it's very, very crucial that things have got to change. Things have got to change. We are on the verge of collapse. That's what it is, my friends. Collapse. Yep. Yep. On the verge of collapse. And it's not looking good for America. Okay? We need to bring back the America that we all know and love. All right? Okay? Yeah. But, So, 272-0319, I know you're paying attention. Okay? Now, we're living in dangerous times, my friends. Dangerous times. Okay? And it's not coming out in the right manner here. All right. 272-0319. I know you're listening. I know you're out there. Oh, man, that was close. Come on, guys. Everybody is out there. I know you're out there. Come on now. Two 272-0319. Give us a call. You will be on the air and ready to go. Yeah. Oh, come on now. We know you're out there. 272-0319. Nope. All right, my friends, come on now. 272-0319. I only got time now for one call, which is quite interesting. Nobody's paying attention here. Yes, it's quite weird, actually. Oh, okay, well, you know what? With that in mind, I'm going to get into the last words for the night. Alright, okay? So, with that, alright, now the last words for the night. Alright, now, alright, there is this one kid, this 5-year-old girl, that knows a lot about history. Alright, take a look at this, my friends. Okay, take a look at this. Alright, here it is.
Who's this?
John Quincy Adams.
And who was the First Lady?
Louisa.
And the Vice President was?
John C. Calhoun.
Okay, do you have any fun facts on him?
He swam naked in the Potomac.
Who's this?
Rutherford B. Hayes.
Uh-huh. And who was the Vice President?
William Wheeler.
Yeah, sure, you remember that guy. Fun fact? He was the first president to have what?
A telephone.
And what was his phone number?
1.
Who's your favorite president?
Zachary Taylor.
And why is that?
Because he wears blue, because he was a general in the Mexican War, and blue's my favorite color.
A 5-year-old presidential.
Yep, and that's our show for tonight, my friends. We thank you for watching Political Point, where the right is right, and the left is always on the wrong side of history. Follow me on Twitter at WilliamMitro2, and check us out on YouTube. Alright, once again, thank you for watching Political Point, where the right is right, and the left is always on the wrong side of history.